All right, welcome back, guys, to part two. I'm going to be finishing this drawing here. That's going to be posted on my Instagram, so check that out if you have a minute. If you didn't catch part one, we worked on just a simple layout. We worked on value systems, and we laid this out in a way that made sense to me at the time. Now, every time I take a little time away from a piece and then come back to it, I see things I want to change. But a lot of it is laid out already, and it's kind of too late. Like there isn't. I don't have a lot of opportunities to change stuff. Now, if I were to do this all over again, I would make some changes, and I might make a video about this. Like, I don't actually think it's for me, and it might be true for a lot of other people, not a good idea to make the first attempt at something your last attempt at something, unless you genuinely can focus enough and complete it. I myself cannot, but if you can, good on you, man. Because in all honesty, like, I have a very ADHD brain, and I need to get, like, for example, the first thing I always do always turns out a lot more realistic than I want it to look out. So I have to kind of get the realism out of the way, in a sense, because that's the first thing that naturally comes out of me. But it's not necessarily what I enjoy. So once I get that out of the way, I kind of have a sense of the proportions, then I exaggerate it. So in other terms, I kind of go through more than one level of exaggeration. So I draw it realistically, then I go ahead and try to exaggerate it, then I exaggerate the exaggeration, basically. That's what I'm doing. So in my mind, when I look at this again, I'm thinking, man, I could exaggerate this even more. But that's good. I mean, that'll do for now. It's not that I hate it. I still like it. It's just like I want to exaggerate it even more. That's all. So I'm drawing just this pattern on the shirt here. There's a weird little skull thingy. And again, if you are interested to see in how this developed, check out part one. It should be the latest upload on the channel. And I'm just going to indicate some graphics here. I mean, it's not really where the eye is going to go, so I'm just going to... There is some weird graphic-y thingies happening, but they're not really that important. Darken the area a little bit. The hand is going to get darker, but in a sense, I need the area around it to be even darker, because in the reference, this is a lot of black on black on black in terms of outfit, I mean. I don't like that when I get to the end of the sketchbook, the paper hits against the cardboard and the texture of the paper starts getting rougher and rougher. So I like to use these foam rubbery things to kind of make see how much softer the pencil gets now. And it just makes value transitions a lot easier, and it prevents it from going dark very quickly. See, I have to press really hard now to get as dark as I got it here, because I'm drawing on top of a softer background. But it gives me these very, very subtle transitions, which I enjoy a lot. It's kind of your way at cheating, getting a smoother paper, because really, drawing on a smooth paper but against a hard surface is not really a smooth paper at all, is it? Because the texture of the surface underneath of it is going to pop. So is it really? So I'm just pushing and pulling on these values, making sure that even though it's black on black, some separation is understood. It's hard, it's not a difficult, it's not an easy process. It requires a lot of subtlety, and if you go too dark too quickly, you're kind of screwed. So I'm trying to make sure just this all works out to our favor. I'm trying to follow the forms too. At some point I want to darken the background because it's just going to help me pop the values of the white sleeves here. But this is all in shadow. I just want to make that very clear. The background is not as light as the drawing, but I do want to take some time right now to lay that in. Because it's going to do a lot of the work for us in terms of the sleeves here. Now I'm going to have to be careful because my handprint is probably just going to smudge a lot of this drawing now, because I have to put my hand on in this area that I'm darkening. I'll make sure I get this hand in nice and smooth. Okay, now we can work. See, all this work on the side of the pencil almost sharpened my edge here, so I don't even need to sharpen my pencil anymore. When you draw on the side, you continuously sharpen your... Now I gotta be very careful here because I do not want these values to get dark at all. Some of it is gonna be darker than others, but I don't want this to get dark at all. Here, maybe this one right here should be the darkest one, honestly. But all I want to do is model. And by modeling, I'm going to have a hard edge here and a roll out into a soft edge. That's all I'm going to try to do. Hard edge, roll out into a soft edge. And hopefully that will give the illusion of wrinkles in the clothes. Now I do need to make sure that this edge right here is a hard one because that's where the stitch is. That's where the cloth is stitched, so there should be a separation there. Now this part is pretty shaded. And this part is dropping a drop shadow down here, but not to the point where I'm gonna roll it out because it's folding and I want to make sure that the fold makes sense, so it's kind of rolling out. The fold here needs to make sense, so honestly that might be it right there. I'll come back and assess later, but that might be it. Now on the other end here, got this edge, I'm going to roll it out. Got this edge. The light is hitting this side a little bit more, so gotta make sure these little tiny folds appear where the thing folds out. But I also want to indicate that this folds. This is a round fold here. And it's still got the stripes, so I'm going to darken these stripes. Okay. This entire fold goes away from the light. This fold right here goes in. All right, I kind of feel more comfortable now darkening other areas. So this background here needs darkened to lighten up the the sleeve. I need, right now the sleeve is blending. There's a lost edge almost. You know, it makes more sense as it drops down. All right, this hand is pretty much in shadow, but I'm not sure I want to render it. They got a microphone here in his hand, very sneaky little microphone that, unless you are looking for it or paying attention to the drawing, you're not going to notice. Pops up right there from behind his hand. It's kind of tucked behind his hand somewhere. And we've got kind of a bracelet. But this is coming up pretty nice right now. Pretty nice, I gotta say. Pretty nice. Kind of try to render the fingers the best I can. But again, a lot of the rendering is actually rendering around, darkening this area around. Now I might go with the tip right now and just darken some of these areas because a lot of it is, I want to kind of smooth out kind of make this a little more coherent. See, I hate how I did this jacket when I did not have this foamy thing underneath because it's not going to come out as smooth. But we'll do the best we can with what we got right now. Lesson learned, a lot of drawing, a lot of successful drawing is successful planning. Especially like a lot of successful finishing is successful planning as well. So this part of the paper is starting to get raw, so I'm just going to try to leave it be. Oh, almost ripped the paper there. So I need this a little bit darker as well. So I think it's done. I get rid of this and just work on this texture. See, I can get darker here without the soft texture, but I needed it for a base. I don't know what it is, but for me, it was always easier to render once a basic value is already down. It's hard for me to render from white. Like, it's easy for me to get into these folds now than I did in the beginning of the drawing. And notice I'm only using the tip of the pencil when I absolutely have to, for little details. So you want 90% or like 80% of your drawing. Doesn't matter really how you hold the pencil. This is all personal style and comfort. But you want 80 to 90% of your drawing is just working the big image. Stop noodling on details. So now I want the seam to stand out, so I'm just going into a little bit more detail, and then look, I'm back to the big picture. Like, I'm doing bigger strokes, focused on bigger things. Oh, look how hard I pressed in the back here. It's not a good sign. Here I'm going to just make sure that I'm covering all I need to cover. I still don't like how the value system here is not really clear. So I'm gonna try to get everything's volume closer to each other. Forgive the noise. Oh. So in a sense, what I'm going to try to do here is just work on my edges There you go. And the soft edges will take care of themselves. There we go. So, sorry I got quiet there for a second. I was trying to really concentrate on this. So, I hope you enjoyed this. Check out part 1 if this was enjoyable at all. Consider subscribing to the channel if you've made it this far into the video. I really appreciate your support and all that. And yeah, I'm just trying to provide stream of consciousness type content, unfiltered and unedited work, and I'm trying to work on my own personal projects while you sit here and join me, and you can ask me questions and maybe everything like that. So if you do enjoy what I'm doing here, leave me a like, leave me a comment, subscribe if you want to. But if you don't, that's okay. That's your prerogative. I won't fault you for that. I watch a lot of channels myself that I don't subscribe to, so I don't understand, even though I'm not supposed to say that. But, okay, so I think I'm just call it a day, because if I don't stop, I'm just going to keep tinkering and tinkering and tinkering forever. So, and I've ruined so many drawings tinkering forever. So, hope you liked it, and I'll see you later.